Welcome to Adobe Photoshop CC. What is Photoshop? Photoshop is the industry standard program for basically anything that is photo based. You can do illustration, you can do photography, photo manipulation, of course, the entertainment, game industry have used it for texturing, for modeling, all kinds of different aspects. So we're going to cover some of those in this tutorial here, just a basic overview of what Photoshop's used for. So in here I have a photo, and if you think of Photoshop, that's the main use, is photo manipulation. So in here I have a photograph, this ocean scene that I took in Italy. And if we look over here on the right, we have these things called layers. I turn off these eyeballs. This is typically what Photoshop is great for, used for, is you can crop images, you can manipulate them, you can add certain adjustments like this levels adjustments here and this hue saturation to basically apply some effects to your scene and make things a little bit different. Like if I want to cool down or warm up this sequence, I can change the hue here a little bit. I can also change the saturation, increase saturation a little bit, and a little bit more emphasis on that. Look at that water, the way it pops out now. So those are the kind of things that you can do in Photoshop that are very powerful. If you want to crop the image a certain way, you want less sky, you can basically bring that in. And then once you like it, you can basically hit the enter key, and voila, you now have your new crop scene here. So those are the kind of things that Photoshop allows you to do photographically. There's tons of options and tools. We'll get into all these in future tutorials. But again, this is just a basic overview of what things you can do. So things you might not have thought of, if I hit Control Tab or Command Tab on the Mac, I'm going to tab through these different image files I have open. This one has a 3D model actually rendered in here, which is chicken walker and a T-Rex here for this video animation I'm creating, which is Spielberg versus Lucas, which has a T-Rex obviously from Spielberg, and then the chicken walker from George Lucas for the Star Wars films. So but you can bring in rendered images into Photoshop and actually manipulate them. So on this image here of the same sequence, I'll turn off some of these layers just by clicking the eyeball. You can see the sort of levels adjustment there. Here you can see how there's clouds, and then it's like their clouds are in front of or behind the image. And then if we turn these layers off, the clouds disappear until we basically have just a blue sky background here. If I hold Alt or Option on this eyeball, you can see the background has transparency built in. So you can see that allows me to add things like a sky here and add some other effects here, which is pretty cool. So Photoshop is very powerful that way. Photoshop is typically used also for texturing models. So like these bricks were textured in Photoshop as flat files. So let's go to another image here. And another thing that's very popular with Photoshop is its arsenal in terms of painting ability. Whether you use textures or just paintbrushes in general, the paintbrush features in Photoshop are pretty relentless in terms of what they can enable you to do. So I have the Cyborg series here that I've been working on that these are all painted in Photoshop. They all have some textures applied, some photographic images that were manipulated and utilized in each of them, but overall all of them are pretty much painted images on canvas in a sense, but digital canvas. So that's a brief overview of the things that you can do in Photoshop. Again, you can do photo manipulation, 3D manipulation, compositing, and of course lots of cool illustration type paintings. So see you soon in Adobe Photoshop CC. Cheers!